Well, hello folks, and welcome to A Sportsman's Life. I'm Luke Clayton and my two good buddies,
Jeff Rice
and Larry Weisson, and we're so proud that you're with us this week. I'll be very honest with you, I have no idea where we're going.
There is no telling, but it's going to be fun.
We're going to have a good time, folks. Stay tuned. We have another great adventure on Our Sportsman's Life coming your way.
Well, folks, I want you to meet my buddy, Mr. Bryant Sheets. We are down here at the Cedar Cove Ranch.
Yes, sir.
Cedar Cove. I'm going to tell you what, we're on the, well, I showed you a picture of the lake. The lake is behind us, folks. This is an awesome place. It's right, not far from Athens,
right,
and Eustis.
Right.
Well, actually, Purtis Creek. A lot of people know where Purtis Creek State Park is. Right. It's just right close by.
Like 3 miles.
3 miles. Tell us what all is here. I've got a pretty good working idea of everything that's here, Bryant, but good hunting, lots of hogs. You guys do hog hunts and deer, a lot of good deer.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we've just started a little drive. Bryant is taking me all back through here and where I can look the place over. It's my first time here, but man, there was deer sign everywhere. But it's a nice lodge. Actually, there's 3 places to stay.
Right. We got the big Grand Chateau. You get like 14 people in that. You get the Whitetail Lodge. You get like 12 people in that. And then the other lodge is like an 8-room hotel, individual 8 rooms in there.
That would be a deal. The fishing, we're going to do a little fishing and we're going to film it so you can see what kind of fishing that's here. But the bass fishing, I've seen pictures, Brian, it's awesome, isn't it?
There's some nice ones.
And crappie, but that the hotel thing that you've got, those different rooms.
Right.
I could see 3 or 4 guys getting together that didn't want to fish the big lakes, get right here and get back here. We are in the middle of some wilderness country. And you could get relaxed, folks, here a day or 2 back out here fishing, couldn't you?
Indeed, I do it all the time.
You lucky rascal, you. But your son Arlen is, hopefully we'll get to meet him out here, the owner.
He should be out a little later today.
Right, and if we can, we may get Arlen in the boat with us and do some fishing. If we can't, I know he's a busy guy, but you're doing a good job kind of pitch hitting there, you know.
Well, if he can't make it, we'll do it without him.
All right, let's go. You want to go look at some more of this?
Absolutely, let's go check out the ranch.
All right, here we go. Well, folks, Mr. Bryant is driving us through, but this is just a good little look at some of this countryside. We're on an electric buggy here, just kind of slowly going along. Deer tracks literally everywhere you look. Bryant, deer season, well, we're filming this just before the opening of deer season. You've seen some good old big bucks in this area.
Oh, we got a bunch of them on film. We got cameras set up everywhere.
Yeah, and that's these cameras nowadays makes all the difference. Takes scouting to a different level, doesn't it?
It does indeed. We got some of them we figured probably up in the high 50s.
Yeah, it's a good deer anywhere good free range deer anywhere you're at.
Indeed.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll get on down in here, and man, that road just goes on and on, folks. Look at that. Exciting place to be.
Coming down.
There's a wallow right there, right? Yep, the one you was talking about.
I just see them coming down through here.
This is some pretty woods out here, buddy. Folks, we are back in here now. Just give you an idea of some of the country, but we're where nobody but us is back in here. There's some deer and hogs and bunches of them, but heck, we've been driving them long ways down these roads. Folks, this is an awesome place. If you get a chance, we're gonna connect you with Cedar Cove Ranch.
Cedar Cove Ranch.
Yep. And if you get a chance, you want to come down and do some fishing or hunting, these are some fine folks, and you see what kind of country we've got. Here's that road going on forever. Folks, as an old outdoors rider, I have used lots of products. Smoking Tex electric smokers, the best smokers that you can find. This is Diz and this is Scott, my buddies. Diz, tell them how they can learn more about Smoking Tex.
Yeah, obviously the number one source of information is going to be our website. It's got hundreds of recipes, it's got helpful guides, it's got all of our models and our accessories listed there. Of course, we have a phone number, 888-922-1511, and we'll actually answer our own phones.
That's true. And Diz, the main thing, the easy way, smokingtex.com. You can learn all about it.
Correct. And of course, we're on all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So take a look at us whenever you can, and whatever social media you'd like, and we look forward to working with you.
And here comes Mr. Bryant. He's going to show us the shooting range, and they do have an awesome range set up. Bryant, this is one very nice shooting range you've got set up back here, buddy.
Just set up the building here.
Yeah.
A little safer.
I don't know if those are lead sleds or what, but
It is.
yeah, one of them is.
Got some lighter ones for the ladies. They would have difficulty moving the big heavy lead sled around.
Yep.
So we got some little lighter ones.
Sure helps on the recoil though,
It
doesn't it?
does indeed.
Well, let me show our friends the setup. This is an awesome setup for a shooting range. Get good and steady and comfortable there. And then we'll look back. Got the silhouettes up close, you know, pistol shooting or whatever, right?
Right, yes sir.
Yep. And then down there, what's that, a couple of 100 meters?
200 meters.
Down. That looks like a fun target to shoot right there.
It dances around on you, flips around and spins.
Look at that. Yeah. Well, any good hunting operation, in my opinion, you know, everybody, even you and I both, we've been hunting all our lives. I dare say you have, and
Indeed,
shooting
I have.
too. I was in the military. But if you don't go out and check that gun, especially if you fly in on a airplane or whatever, or just travel, no guarantee it's going to be on, is it?
That's right.
So it's a good idea to get you hunters in here and let them
That's
shoot
right.
first.
You never know when the gremlins got in your scope.
Exactly. Well, you about ready to see some more of the ranch?
Let's go check her out.
Well, folks, Mr. Bryant and I are going to go and catch some bass. And how about this, a power lift on this thing, Bryant?
It's pretty nice. Pretty loud.
Going to be a little loud, so let her, what do you?
Let her rip, see what happens.
All right. Bryant, what's been working best? Soft plastics, you say?
Soft plastics mostly. We catch them like on the little Cinco and the lizard. They've been eating that lizard up.
Yeah, this time of year for that. Folks, we are out here, and I showed you a picture of this awesome structure and cover a little bit earlier. There's our boathouse that we just left. There's the nice lodge up on the hill. And there's the lower end of our lake right there. Brian, you're gonna, of course, fishing with a plastic lizard. You're gonna let it. We're in deep water. You're gonna let her go down and what?
All the way down to the bottom.
Let it hit bottom.
Let them hit bottom. And then once it's down there, just let her soak for a bit. And then just ease, tighten up your line and ease it up. Let it move and just let her soak.
And then when he thumps it, cross his eyes, right?
That's it. If it gets on the grass, hooked up in the grass, which there's a lot of it in here,
Yeah.
then I just load it up and give it a big old jerk.
Twitch it loose. That's the good thing about fishing with soft plastics that I've always enjoyed. Pretty much weedless as a rule, you know. Yep. Well,
You I think my record for the coontail is about 2 bushels.
Oh, buddy, I'll tell you what, if a person likes to catch bass, we are in the epicenter of things right here, man. I'm ready to, we're gonna get you catching a bass or two. Then I'll be honest with you, Brian, I can't stand it. You know, I'm about a part-time filmer, you know, cameraman. I'll be grabbing that rod here in just a little bit.
Better get on it. I tell you, normally on the roads like the 10, 12 feet deep, what I was told. We got it out here growing in 24-foot water.
Coontails growing down that deep.
Yeah, because of the clear water.
Yeah.
It's not so clear today because of the rain we just had.
Yeah. Exactly. Folks, here's a different angle of our lake, a different view. Other than there's the boathouse that we looked at earlier. But this water down here, this is the lower end of the lake, 50 foot deep. And everybody knows what kind of water there is. It's pure water down here and around Eustis and Athens. Here's a little bit of a better look at that lodge. Absolutely beautiful place.
Got the opportunity this afternoon here in the tail end of September to get together with Brett and Gary Andrews and Brian Davis with Texas raised hunting products. And you can see the products right here. We're going to have Brett set up a mock scrape back here in the back where he is, but you can see the products right here, and we'll show you how to put those to work in just a little bit.
So basically, what I do normally is use the scent guarding first of all to remove any kind of odor from your hands. And then we're going to take this breeding buck Priavital, which is an all natural, it's not a synthetic product. And this will be going on the licking branch, which is usually about 4 foot from the ground. And what we'll do is, generally, I like to twist it as if, you know, something's been already chewing on it. Give it a couple shakes. And then in the ground, if it's real dry, sometimes I tend to, if you're just using the scent, the bottle scent alone, you can put water in there. It helps it, you know, moisturize the ground and keeps it longer. But we started using these cans, and what it is, it's a Scrape King can, and what it has is both buck and doe deer urine, but also their interdigital glands, which is their glands in the bottom of their feet. Which the feet, when they do the mock scrape on the ground, what do? They're not just scraping on the ground because they like to. They're actually leaving a almost like a fingerprint on the ground in their DNA. And the second thing they do is they pee on their tarsal glands on top of it. So we infuse this wick. So you can open it, close it. It's a little pop top. Real simple. It's already infused. And pop the top back on. Put it in the ground. Got scent guarding on my hands, not worried about my odor. And then generally what I like to show people is this. So it's fine how it is right now. Over time, me personally, every time I go out, I refresh these wicks. But the cool thing is, between what we have and these other wicks that hang from trees, is the ones you hang are the cotton. Cotton can only absorb, you know, one time. These, you can actually refresh these wicks inside. So say, here, it's been out here a few weeks. Give it a couple sprays. Bam. So we'll leave this here. It should, within 24 hours, I would say it's probably gonna be hit here tonight. The cans will sometimes be ripped out of the ground by the deer. The deer will haul them out because of the scrapes. Just put it back in the ground, refresh it if you want to. If you have hogs, not gonna lie, they will pick it up and they will pack it off, but they won't pack it off far enough to where you can't find it. So just because it's chewed on or beat up doesn't mean it can't be used again. You can actually put it right back in there, refresh it, and you're done.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and this ain't your grandpa's pump-up air gun. This is the Texan, made by Air Force Air Guns, and it's the most powerful production air gun in the world. A few years ago I started shooting these when they first came out. I actually had a chance to test. They didn't really need any testing, but to shoot one of the 10 prototypes when they first came out. Now this is the improved model. This tank pressures up to 3,625 PSI. This gun will develop, I believe it's 750 foot-pounds of energy shooting a 520 grain bullet. So this is your big daddy of air guns. If you want to get into hunting or shooting air guns, you know, you don't have to shoot a 520 grain bullet. I shoot a Nielsen specialty ammo bullet that's, I think it's 340 grains. But here you go. Check these out online. You can go to airforceairguns.com and check them out. But this is the one I've hunted with a lot. I've probably killed 30 hogs and a bunch of exotics, and I'm going to get after the deer here in Texas this year with it. airforceairguns.com.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. Today we're going to talk venison hamburgers. So we've got some venison of a small buck I shot here last week, and so we're going to take the meat from that buck and we're going to make some venison hamburger. So what we've got here from our local grocer, I ran up to the grocer and I said, hey, are you guys cutting meat anytime soon? The guy said, I'm cutting it right now. I said, can I have the beef fat? He said, absolutely. They're always usually really good about that. So he says, how much do you want? And I said, just give me a big pile of it. We'll figure that out. Just give me what you got. So he gave me this, and what we'll do is we'll use what we need for this recipe. Might freeze a little bit, and if we get another deer later in the season, we can also grind up some more, make sausages and those type of things. So stay tuned, folks. This is going to be a good show. I've got my venison all here, so what I'm going to start to do is we're going to cut it up into cubes. We've got to cube everything. So we'll have everything loaded up in this bucket in cubes, big enough for the grinder here. Then we're going to grind the venison and get it set aside. Then we're going to focus on our fat here, because we're going to cut that into cubes as well, about inch by inch cubes, again, so they fit into the grinder nicely, and we're going to grind all that up. So we've got our blade in here ready to go in our grinder, and all we got to do is turn that baby on and start grinding some meat. So stay tuned again. We are going to make some venison hamburger, and I think you're going to like this. Okay, so we're in the process of cutting up our meat. So what we're doing here is we're actually taking all the venison pieces and cutting them down into about pieces about that size or so. They fit in the grinder well. So we're getting all of this chopped up. The one thing you have to remember about venison is it's very lean. It's a very lean meat. So if you add the beef fat to it, when you make the burgers, it'll help them stick together. So when you're grilling them, they don't fall all apart. You have to have the beef in there. So what I've been doing here is just kind of taking off, I'll set that aside a second here so you can see, kind of just taking off some of the stringy and, you know, kind of ligamenty, you know, pieces of the venison. Like right here, you can kind of see that. Just a piece of cartilage or something. I'm just getting that kind of stuff out and getting it to just a solid piece of meat like so. Then again, we're cutting it up. I've cut this one up into almost steak-sized pieces, but we're going to take those again and we're going to chop them up in a size that we can get right into the grinder. So even that piece right there we'll be able to get in the grinder. So the hole's about that big, it'll slide right down there nicely. So, all right, we continue on getting our venison ready, and then we'll jump into the beef fat here in just a minute. Okay, we've wrapped up cutting up our venison into pieces that will fit into the grinder. Now we're going to jump on this beef fat. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop it up the same way. And what we want to add in our little recipe is for every 4 pounds of meat, you'd want to pound of fat, beef fat. That's what you want to kind of grind together. So we're going to weigh our meat. We're going to figure out exactly what we need to have for fat. We're going to use that, and if we have leftovers, we'll put it in a little package, put it in the freezer, and we'll use it for other recipes. So let's get cutting. We've got our beef fat here, again, from our local grocer. We want to thank them for getting this for us. We appreciate it, us hunters. So we're doing the same thing as we did with the venison. We're just cutting it up into chunks like that. We're going to set it in here, and again, get everything weighed out, figure out exactly how much beef fat we need, get this stuff ground, and we are going to have venison hamburgers, folks. Stay tuned. This is good stuff, so you're going to want to try this. Okay, here we go, folks. We have our venison chopped up and our beef fat chopped up, and of course we've got 1/5 of the meat here is the fat. So you want 4 pounds of meat, 1 pound of fat, and so we've done our ratios here. We've got it all set, so we're ready to go. We've got the right amount of beef for our venison, and of course, as we knew, we would have leftovers. So there we go. We're going to vacuum seal those up, and I promise you, folks, we will be using those in a future show, making more sausage or maybe some more hamburgers. So here you go, folks. We are in the process of making venison hamburgers. So we're going to get the grinding process going here, and then we'll wrap up and show you our final product. This is easy to do, friends. I mean, get out there, you get a deer, make some hamburger. This stuff's really good. You put that beef fat in there and your hamburgers will go on the grill. They won't fall apart. They'll be just super tasty. So, and of course you can season them as you like once you get them made. So I don't typically put seasoning in my my hamburger when I make it, and I let those that make the hamburgers put the seasoning on while they're cooking them. So stay tuned, folks. More to come here on A Sportsman's Life. Take a look at that, folks. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So that is ground venison. The one thing I really appreciate is the fact that I have a electric grinder here. You know, Grandma's house, she had the old crank grinder that mount to the tabletop, and you would crank it. Although they work just fine, they took forever to get this kind of meat done. So it's nice to have these electric grinders. They're not expensive. Pick you one up, you can grind meat like this. We got our venison ready to go, so we are off and running with our beef fat. We're going to grind that up. We'll put it on the other side over here. Then it's going to be mixing time. So no need to clean any of this stuff out. Just start running the fat through. Once I get that through and in here, that's when the kind of the mixing begins. We'll get our hamburger all put together, and then of course we'll talk a little bit about packaging that hamburger, because you want this stuff to last a long time. So here we go. Beautiful. There you have it, folks. Take a look at this. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to show you what we got here. We got our venison and we've got our beef fat. So now we're going to mix these two together by hand. And once again, no seasoning. I'm just going to hand do this and you get this all put together. This stuff is so good, folks. Put it on the grill, these hamburgers. Your friends, your family, they'll love it. So really now it's just a matter of getting a pair of rubber gloves on and going to town. We're going to mix this all up. And just kind of spread it out like this and make sure you get it mixed real thoroughly. It's going to all be mixed very, very well. So we just get in here and we'll just mix that all up like so. Make darn sure you got it all put together. All right, we're going to work at this for a little bit. And we're going to come back and we'll talk a little bit more about venison hamburger. When you hand mix it, it's going to look like this. See the big fat chunks? You don't want that. So when you're running through the grinder the second time, what it's going to come out looking like is that. See the difference? So this is your final product. This is your hamburger here, your hamburger meat, your venison hamburger. So we're going to get all this ground up a second time, and we're going to be set to make burgers. So have to get that grill fired up and get ready to make some venison hamburgers. All right, back to grinding. we have finalized our process. We have our venison hamburger ready to go here. So as you can see, a bunch of hamburger. Now there's different things you can do. What I kind of like to do is make patties, and what I do is then I will stack the patties, put wax paper between them, put them in the freezer, let them get frozen, then I'll vacuum seal them. And the reason you do that is so they don't get all squished up when you go to vacuum seal them. But you have pre-made hamburgers ready to go on the grill at any time. Or you can take some of this and you can just, get your little half-pound or pound bag that you can use, these little vacuum seal bags, and just fill it up and make you a little package of, of hamburger for using for cooking and or hamburgers later on. So there you have it, friends. Give this stuff a try. Very, very easy to do. This will be lots of camp meals going forward. We'll see you next time on Sportsman's Life. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here on our Sportsman's Life. I mean, what a great adventure we had today again, and looking forward to another great adventure next week, huh, boys?
You betcha. I'm ready to go.
I'm not. I want to stay right here. Y'all join us next week.
And a special thanks to these fine sponsors: Air Force Air Guns, B&B Charcoal, Dallas Safari Club, Hornady, Pyramid Air, Nielsen Specialty Ammo, Sightmark, Smokin' Tex, Snap Block Hunting Blinds, Texas Raised Hunting Products, and Striper Express.